Linear functions. A function is called linear if it is of the form y is equal to mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. The graph of a linear function is a line. To graph a linear function, we need to have two pieces of information, one of them either having slope and the y-intercept, or at least 2 points. If we have 2 points on that line, we can identify and graph the line. Slope is rise over run. That means rise means we're gonna go up or down, and run we're gonna go left or right. Also slope, if we have given 2 points, x1 and y1, x2 and y2, the slope we can calculate the difference between y, so y2 minus y1, divided by x2 minus x1. Sometimes it's called the difference in y over the difference in x. And the slope is also called the rate of change, or interpreted as the rate of change of the vertical value y with respect to the horizontal value x. Example 1. Graph each function. Y is equal to 2x plus 1. So we need to identify what is my slope. My slope is the number standing by x. So in that case is 2. 2 we can write that this is 2 over 1. So that means we have the rise. We're gonna go 2 units up and 1 unit to the right. And the second number not attached to x, this one is the y-intercept. So the y-intercept, y is equal to is 1. So to graph it, we can either do the table or we can use the y-intercept and slope. So we're gonna start on y-axis as at 1. We know that this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis. So to identify y is equal to 1, on the y-axis we need to mark it where is the 1. So this is the point on the y-axis. Then I'm gonna proceed according to slope. So we're gonna go 2 units up and 1 unit to the right. So from this point we're going 1, 2 and 1 to the right. So that's my second point on the graph. So it's right here. Then we can proceed the same way. From this point we're going 2 units up according to the slope. 2 units up and 1 unit to the right. So 1, 2 and 1 unit to the right. So another point is right here. And the same way we could keep going 1, 2 and 1 to the right. And then we can graph the line. And then we can graph the line. Passing through those points. So this is my line, y is equal to 2x plus 1. Let's see example B. So we have f of x is equal to 1/2 x minus 1. I hope we know that instead of f of x, we can always write that this is y is equal to 1/2 x minus 1. We interchange y and f of x. F of x is different notation for the value of y. If we want to denote function with what variable, that variable is x. So as before, number standing by x is the slope. So my slope is 1/2. That means I'm gonna rise. That means my rise is 1 and my run is 2. So we're gonna go 1 up and 2 to the right. and the number standing by itself is called the y-intercept. So the y-intercept in that case is -1. So we're gonna start as before x and y. We're gonna start on the y-axis at the point of -1. So -1 is right here, and then we're gonna proceed according to the slope. So 1 unit up and 2 units to the right. So from this point we're going 1 unit up, 2 units to the right, and here is gonna be my point, and then we're gonna go 1 unit up, 2 units to the right. So my first point is right here, and then we have right here, and then we keep proceeding from this 1 unit up, 2 units to the right, and the same for next points. And then we can graph it, connect all the points. And that's my line. Y is equal to 1/2 x minus 1. Example C, the same way. Graph each function. Y is equal to -2x minus 3. Number standing by x is my slope. So my slope is -2. Any whole number we can always write as -2 over 1. Any whole number can always be over 1. So this is my going up and down. In that case, we're going 2 units down, -2, and 1 unit to the right. So the slope tells me goes 2 units down and 1 unit to the right. And my y-intercept is -3. So y-intercept is y is equal to -3. So on the y-axis, we start with the -3. So we have 0 here. We're gonna go 1, 2, -3. That's my starting point. On the y-axis, we have -3 right here. And then we proceed according to the slope. 2 units down and 1 unit to the right. So from this point, we're going 1, 2, and 1 unit to the right. So that's my point. And then the same way we would go 1, 2, and 1 unit to the right. And then we have the same point next way. And going the other direction, we can put couple points as well too. And then we would draw the line passing through those points. So this is the line y is equal to -2x minus 3. Example D, we have f of x is equal to -1/3 x plus 2. The number standing by x is my slope. So my slope is m is equal -1/3. That negative, we can put it to the top. So we would have it that this is -1/3. So my slope is we're gonna go down 1 unit and 3 units to the right. And my y-intercept is +2. So y-intercept is y is equal to 2. So y-intercept is my starting point. On the y-axis, we're looking for the intersection of 2. So 1 and 2, that's my starting point. And then we're gonna travel according to the slope. 1 unit down and 3 units to the right. From the starting point, we're gonna go 1 unit down and 1, 2, 3 units to the right. So that's my next point. And from that point, we travel the same way. 1 unit down and 1, 2, 3 units to the right. So that's my next point. And the same way we can travel 1 unit down, 1, 2, 3 units to the right. That's my next point. And we can draw the line passing through all those points. And the line is my y is equal to negative 1/3 x plus 2. If we look at the graphs that we graphed, we can notice what we have written on the bottom. If the slope is positive, the function is increasing. If the slope is negative, the function is decreasing. The slope is negative, so here is going down the hill. Here is also negative, it's going slowly down the hill. If we look at the previous example, slope is positive, we climbing up the hill, so it's increasing. Here we going slowly up the hill, so it's increasing. If the slope is positive, the function is increasing. If the slope is negative, the function is decreasing, the linear function. Example 2. For the given function, y is equal to 2x minus 4, find x-intercept, y-intercept, and graph the function. So to find x-intercept, here is my x-axis. We can see that the value of y on any point here is 0. I'm not going up anymore, right? So to find the x-intercept, part A, to find x-intercept, we will set y to 0 and solve for x. So to my equation, we're gonna set y to 0 and solve for x. So we have 0 is equal to 2x minus 4, and then we need to solve it. So we would bring it plus 4 plus 4. So we have 4 is equal to 2x, and to isolate for x, we would divide by 2. So then we divide by 2, and this 2 cancel out. So what we have is x is equal to, and 4 divided by 2 is just 2. So we can write that this is x is equal to 2. That's my x-intercept. 2 is equal to x means that x is equal to 2. That's exactly the same. Now for my y-intercept, that would be number on the graph, and we already know that y-intercept is negative 2, negative 4. For y-intercept, any value here has value of x 0, so we would set 0 for x and solve it for y. But because we already know, we can just write it down. Part B, y-intercept, we set x to 0 and solve for y. So we would have y is equal to 2 times 0 minus 4. 2 times 0 is 0 minus 4. Y is equal to negative 4. And we already know this, that this point is y-intercept. So then graph the points. So we can either mark those two numbers, x-intercept, y-intercept, and connect them, or we can go with the slope and point as we did before. Let's mark those two numbers on the axes. So on the x-axis, this is my x-intercept. On the x-axis, I need to find number 2. So 0, 1, and 2 is the point right here. And on the y-axis, we need to find number 4, 1, 2, 3, and negative 4 right here. And then we can simply draw the line connecting those 2 points, and that's my line, because it's enough to have 2 points to graph the line. If we go with the slope, negative 4, and we would get exactly to the same spot. if we start with -4, that would be here, and go sloped, so it would be 1, 2 over 1, 1, 2 over 1, so we have exactly the same points. So this is graph y is equal to y is equal to 2x minus 4. Example 3, exactly the same. Minus 3x plus 2, we want to find x-intercept, y-intercept, and graph the function. So to find x-intercept, we set y to 0 and solve it for x. So for part A, we have 0 is equal to minus 3x plus 6. Now we can bring either 6 over or this whole plus minus 3x. So let's bring this plus 3x plus 3x. So we had 3x is equal to 6. And then to solve it for x, we would divide by 3, divide by 3. So we have that x is equal to 6 divided by 3 is 2. So my x-intercept is 2. And part B, y-intercept, we already know that the y-intercept is 6 because x would be 0 on the y-axis, x is 0. So minus 3 times 0 is 0 plus 6 is 6. So the y-intercept is 6. We can mark those 2 points. On the x-axis, we're gonna mark it 1 and 2. So here is my point. This is 1, this is 1. -1, this is x-axis, y-axis. And on the y-axis, we're gonna mark it 6. On the x-axis, we mark it 2. On the y-axis, this is the y-intercept. On the y-axis, we mark it 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we draw the line going through those two points. And that line is y is equal to minus 3x plus 6. If we draw it more precisely, we would be more accurate. Example 4 is exactly the same. We have 2/3 x minus 4. We need to find the x-intercept, y-intercept, and graph the function. So as before, to find the x-intercept, we're gonna equal to 0. We have 2/3 x minus 4 is equal to 0. We can bring the 4 over to that side. So we would add plus 4 plus 4. So we have 4 is equal to 2/3 x. And to solve it for x, we would need to divide by this 2/3, divide by 2/3. And we can either use calculator or divide it manually. So if I have it 4 divided by fraction, means multiply by its reciprocal. So we would have that this x is equal to 4 times, and we flip the bottom fraction, which is 3 over 2. And then we can reduce 4 and 2 reduces to 2 because 4 is like 4 over 1. So what I'm left is with is 2 times 3, which is 6. So my x-intercept is 6. And we see that the y-intercept is -4. So y is equal to -4. We mark those points on the graph. So we have x, we have y, and on the x-axis we mark it 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the y-axis we're gonna mark it -4, so 1, 2, 3, -4. And we can draw a straight line passing through those points. So this is my line, y is equal to 2/3 x minus 4. Example 5. Given this slope and y-intercept, find the equation of the line. Slope is -5 and y-intercept is 3. So we're using the formula y is equal to mx plus b. We know that this is my slope and this is my y-intercept, right? So we're gonna simply substitute those values for those what we have. So we have y is equal to -5x plus 3. And this is the equation of the line. So this is the answer. Part B the same. Y is equal to mx plus b. We know that m is my slope, so we're gonna substitute, and b is my y-intercept. So we would have y is equal to 1/4 x plus -2. So this can be written y is equal to 1/4 x minus 2. This is simply the equation of the line. That now we can work on, so given the slope and the point on that line, that point x1, y1, then the equation of the line can be written as y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. Y gonna stay, y1 is this point, and x1 is the given point, and slope is also gonna be given. So let's see an example. If we have given slope and a point on that line, we can find the equation of the line. So we're gonna rewrite the equation that we have y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. This is my one point has coordinates x1, y1. So now we're gonna substitute. My y1 is the -2. My x1 is +1. So we would substitute for those values. So we have y minus -2 is equal to, and of course my slope also is given, so we can substitute for slope. So we have 4x minus 1. One more time, we have y minus from the formula, and my y1 is -2, and then we have m is 4, then we have x, and minus, and x1 is 1. So now what we need to do is work this out. So we would multiply this out, and we know that minus -2 is +2. So we have y plus 2 is equal to, we multiplying this out, 4 times x is 4x, and we have 4 times -2 is -4. And then we solve it, so we can bring this -2 to the other side. So what we need to do is subtract 2, subtract 2. And what we have is y is equal to 4x minus 6. So that's the equation of the line. Equation of the line with the slope 4, so slope is 4, and that line passes through this given point. Part B, exactly the same. We start with writing the formula, so we have y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. This is my slope is given right here. We know that the point is x1, y1, so we can substitute for x1 right here, and for y1 we're gonna substitute right here. So we have y minus 3 is equal to negative 2 times x minus, and x1 is negative 1. We have minus from the formula, and x1 is negative 1, so minus negative 1. So now we have y minus 3 is equal to minus 2, x minus negative 1 is positive 1. So we have plus 1. Then we can multiply out the minus 2. So we have y minus 3 is equal minus 2x minus 2. Because minus 2 times x is minus 2x, minus 2 times positive 1 is minus 2. And the last step, we can bring this minus 3 to the other side. So we need to add 3 to both sides. And we have y is equal to minus 2x plus 1. And that's my final equation of the line. Example 7. We have given 2 points on that line, and we would like to find the slope and then find the graph, find the equation of the line and graph the function. So the slope, we're gonna start with the slope equation, which is slope equation was y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So my point is, first point is x1, y1, second point is x2, y2. So we would substitute for them. M is equal to my y2, we subtract the y, so 2 minus 4 divided by, and on the bottom we subtract the x coordinates, 1 minus 3. 2 minus 4 is negative 2, 1 minus 3 is negative 2, minus 2 divided by minus 2 is 1. So my slope is 1. Now to find the equation, find the equation of the line, we use what we just did before. We're gonna use the slope, and we're gonna use the slope and one of the points. We can choose either one, and both of them would give us the same equation. So the slope, the formula for equation of a line is y minus y1 is equal to m x minus x1. My slope is 1, and I need 1 point, so we can choose this point 3 and 4 x1, and we substitute for x1, and y1 we substitute for y1. So we have y minus 4 is equal to 1 times x minus 3. 1 times x minus 3 is x minus 3. So I have y minus 4 is equal to x minus 3. And then we're gonna bring this negative 4 over. So we have plus 4 plus 4. So we have y is equal to x plus 1. That's my equation of that line. And we can graph it. To graph it, we can either mark those 2 points and connect them, or we can use the slope and y-intercept formula. Either way is correct. Let's plot the points and see how it works. So the first point is 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So this is my first point. Second point is 1 and 2. So we have 1 to the right and 2 on that side. So second point is right here. And if I connect all the dots and draw the line, we can see that this equation, this line, is y-intercept is 1, so right here, and the slope is 1, so we're going 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right. So our equation is correct. Y is equal to x plus 1. Exactly the same way we will do part B. Exactly the same we will do part B. So part B, slope is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Each point, this point has coordinates x1, y1, second point x2, y2, those two given points. So now we substitute this to the equation. Basically, we subtract 2 minus negative 1, 2 minus negative 1, and the second one we're gonna have 1 minus negative 1. So we have 1 minus negative 1. 2 minus negative 1 is 2 plus 1. 1 minus negative 1 is 1 plus 1. So the slope is 3 over 2. And then we would use equation of the line. So y minus y1 is equal to n x minus x1. And we would substitute my slope, and we would use one of the points, either x1 or y1, or either one is good. I'm gonna use this point. So substitute, so this gonna go for my y1, and x would gonna go for my x1. So we have y minus negative 1 is equal to 3 halves x minus negative 1. So y plus 1 is equal to 3 halves x plus 1. Now we can multiply 3 halves in. So we have y plus 1 is equal to 3 halves x plus 3 halves. And then we would subtract negative 1, negative 1. So what we have is y is equal to 3 halves plus 1 half. We can see that in this point we had 3 halves minus 1. 3 halves minus 1 is 3 halves minus 1 is the same as 3 halves minus 2 over 2. Whole 1 is 2 over 2. And then 3 minus 2 is 1 and 1 half. Now we can graph it. So we plot those 2 points and we can connect them. So minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. That's my first point. And the second point is 1, 2. So we have 1 and 2 right here. And then we can connect them. So we can see, if I draw it correctly, that going from this point would be according to slope. Oh, I missed x. Here should be x. According to the slope would be 3/2. So from this point, I'm going 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, that's my point. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, that's my another point. So the line is y is equal to 3/2 x plus 1/2. Example 8. Given the equation of the line, find the slope, y-intercept, x-intercept, and graph the line. So first we need to solve it for y to have it in the slope y-intercept form. So to solve it for y, we're gonna add 3 plus 3 and subtract 2x minus 2x. So what we have is y is equal to minus 2x plus 3. So now we know that the slope is the number standing by x, y-intercept is the number by itself, so slope is -2. We can also think that this is -2 over 1. Then we have y-intercept, y is equal to 3. That's this number standing here. And only we need to find x-intercept. X-intercept, we equal y to 0. So we have 0 is equal to minus 2x plus 3. This one I'm solving for x-intercept. Plus 2x plus 2x. So we have 2x is equal to 3. And then we divide by 2, divide by 2. So we have that x is equal to 3/2. This is my x-intercept. Then they ask us to graph the line. We have a couple options. We can either plot this point on y-axis and this x-intercept on x-axis, or we can plot the points on y-axis and go according to the slope. So on the y-axis, we need to mark it 1, 2, and 3. Here is my first point, and then we can go according to the slope. So 2 units down and 1 unit to the right. So from this point, we're going 1, 2, 1 unit to the right, 1, 2, 1 unit to the right, and mark the point. And then once we graph the line, so we can see, so this is y is equal to minus 2x plus 3. That's my graph right here. And we can see that the x-intercept is roughly 1.5. So 3/2 is right here. 3/2 is my x-intercept. So everything is coming together. And part B, now we need to do exactly the same for this part B. So if I have my equation x, this is part B, x minus y plus 2 is equal to 0. We need to solve it for y. So either we bring that y over or we bring those two. But because y is negative, so let's add y to both sides. Plus y plus y. So we have x plus 2 is equal to y. Or we can rewrite that y is equal to x plus 2. That's exactly the same. So the slope is the number standing by x. So in that case, it's 1. The y-intercept is the number standing by itself. So is 2. Only we need to find the x-intercept, so we will equal y to 0. So we have 0 is equal to x plus 2, and then we solve it for x. So subtract 2, subtract 2. So we have that x is equal to negative 2. X is equal to negative 2. This is my x-intercept. And now we can graph the graph. So on y-axis we have 2, on the y-axis we have 1 and 2. And on the x-axis we have negative 2, so 1 and negative 2. And we could either march according to slope 1. We know that whole 1 is like 1 over 1, 1 up, 1 to the right. So I would go 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right, and I'm getting the graph. So this is my line. Y is equal to x plus 2.